business, to economy, to politics, to technology. And that's all we do here on Newspunch, from the beginning to the end. And that is why we are here. Keep watching Newspunch from Ben Television. Right, thank you for joining us on the program, and the program is Newspunch, coming to you live from Ben Television. My name is Tunde Alabi. It's a pleasure to have you join us this evening on the program. Today on the show, we are in Nigeria and we're looking at two important issues. We're looking at diaspora voting, fourth segment of this program, and then we'll be talking about the scorecard of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Of course, not minding what the president of President Donald Trump said about President Muhammadu Buhari being a lifeless president when, as quoted by the the Financial Times in New York. But the main issue we're looking at on the program today is diaspora voting. If you're concerned about diaspora voting, this is a program for you to join. We'll be taking a look at the history, how far Nigeria has come about Nigerians who live abroad having that right to vote wherever they are. There are countries around the world, not less than 115 countries, around the world where diaspora, there are citizens living abroad are allowed to vote. And the country also include Argentina, Australia, Austria, Algeria has allowed Belgium, Belarus, Benin, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Botswana, Brazil, Bulgaria, Cambodia, Canada, Japan, Italy, Israel, Ireland, Germany, we have New Zealand, we have Norway, we have Russia, we have Tunisia, we have South Africa, we have the US, we have Ireland, we have the United Kingdom, we have Netherlands, we have France, Finland, not less than 150 countries where their citizens who live abroad are allowed to vote in different countries they are. So the program today will be taking a look at Nigeria. Nigeria being one of the most, in fact, the most populous black nation on earth in Africa, and with millions of its citizens living abroad denied the right to vote where they are. So we'll be taking a look at these very important issues as Nigeria approaches 2019. Of course, we do know it is now too late for Nigeria. Well, let's not conclude that it's too late for Nigerians to vote in 2019, but at least we need to start talking about diaspora voting. Those of us who live abroad being given the right to vote where we are in America, in the United Kingdom, wherever we are. Nigeria's got the resources, the manpower, what is happening, what is wrong. This is the main issue we're looking at on the show today. And my guest in the studio, on my far left is Dr. Philip Idao. Dr. Philip is one of the arrowheads of the diaspora voting here in the United Kingdom. Dr. Philip, thank you for joining us on the program today. And I'm also joined by colleague Aga Hibiam, a journalist. Hibiam, thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thanks.
Dr. Philip, let me start with you. Do you want to tell us how far has Nigeria come with the issue of diaspora voting?
Historically, I think that since the return to this Fourth Republic, we have had Nigerians living abroad engaged in this struggle to be allowed to vote. And from 1999 until 2007 or so, we know that Honorable Abike Dabiri, while she was chairman of the House Committee on Diaspora Affairs, and even beyond, she took it upon herself, and she campaigned very vigorously, working with Nigerians living in different countries around the world to champion this issue. And a bill was sponsored at that time, actually, which the House of Reps dropped. They knocked off during the attempt to to deal with the issue of electoral reforms. And indeed, that happened not quite long ago, actually, this issue of removal by the House of Reps. And it was down to one reason they gave, that Nigeria was not ready, for diaspora voting. Why? They think that in terms of the resourcing, that we were not ready for that. But that has not stopped Nigerians living outside to keep looking and raising this issue. And I do know that as at the moment, the Senate committee chair on diaspora affairs, Senator Rose Oko, has actually be taking this on board quite strongly as well. But aside from that bill that was rejected by the House of Reps member, I do not know that there is any other bill that has been raised to ensure that this issue became embedded in our electoral laws as well as in our constitution. Which are these are the key documents or statutes where this issue must be embedded, because basically the issue of diaspora voting rights is not. It shouldn't be viewed from the point of view of a gift to Nigerians living in the diaspora. It's a human right issue. It is a human right issue because we, as Nigerian citizens or people of Nigerian ancestry who are living outside of Nigeria, are being denied our fundamental right to have a say in what happens in our fatherland. So it is just not an offhand issue. It is not an issue that people, politicians, should just decide to accept or to not accept. It is a human right issue. To disenfranchise us and to insist that it is not going to be part of our electoral laws is something that should be viewed by all Nigerians, both home and abroad, and friends of our country, as an issue that is so important to our democratic maturation. So I think that yes, some progress was made. Some people, took this on board, including at a point in time some persons taking this issue to court. Okay, but I think that the problem lies with the people who are supposed to ensure that this matter became embedded in our electoral statute books as well as in our constitution. That yes, we are people of Nigerian ancestry living outside of the shores of Nigeria, but we do have a right. We do have rights, and those rights cannot be abridged and should not be abridged by anybody, to deny us the right to have a say in who becomes or leads any level of our governance system.
Right. Ibia, in your view, would you think Nigeria is ready for diaspora voting?
Already in your statement, you said it's not possibly ready to conclude whether it will happen or not.
No,
Nigeria,
that's for 2019. I mean, I'm saying 2019 is just
long overdue.
It's not.
It's long overdue.
It doesn't appear to me here. Of course, I think it's been said that 2019 Nigerians abroad should forget voting because, of course, the mechanism is not in place, the electoral basis for it is not in place. So, but beyond that, are we ready for diaspora voting?
We should have been ready before now. Right from the time the return of democracy in Nigeria, during Obasanjo's time, and that was 2000 and what? 1999. That is when they should have been embedded that diasporans should vote. But unfortunately, the kind of government we have, likewise the legislative arm of government, are not ready to pursue this lofty idea.
If the legislative arm or the government are not doing this, what about Nigerians in diaspora themselves? Are they ready to do what is right, to pursue this thing using the appropriate means? Do you think they are?
Which other appropriate means do you think they can do?
This
is not what the judiciary can do alone. All right? This is what a bill should be sent to the National Assembly, and they should assent to it without dilly-dallying, because of the importance of diasporans voting. And let me tell you, you mentioned a lot of countries. Come back home. South Africa, Mali, Angola, having diaspora voters. Why can't Nigeria? Is it resources? Is it the intellectual capability or what? It is just lukewarm attitude to those things that are really fundamental to the development of Nigeria. We have a lot of educated people, or whatever you think they are, in the National Assembly, in the executives, but because it's not going to favor their interest, they try to negate, run away. They try to shove it aside because they don't see the importance. We are good at learning things that will set us back, but those things that will move Nigeria forward are being treated with ignominy by the politicians. Why is it so? Voters outside the country should count, and especially in presidential voting. States, you could say, well, depending on the percentage of, for instance, Ekiti State or Anambra State, how many of them are living abroad? But you still have a large number of them. But when it comes to presidential voting, where we need to, because I know we will talk about the current president, Muhammadu Buhari, when we need to elect someone who, let me just give you another instance of Ghana, a sound president like him, all right? And here is Nigeria claiming the giant of Africa, having the kind of leader we have. We will talk about that. But I want to tell you that if Nigerian in diaspora are voting, allowed to vote, they will make a huge change in Nigeria.
Okay, Dr. Philip, what steps? We have a lot of talks, but talks will not change anything if the right things are not done. What are the right things that should be done?
Now, let me come in here and say this. That, just following up on what my brother here has said, why he thinks this issue is not being given a go-ahead by the legislative arm of government, by members of National Assembly, because that is where it should take place. I think that it is the issue and the fact that a good number of Nigerian politicians, those who are on ground, our brothers, our compatriots who are on ground at home, they are scared of Nigerians who live outside. And they have a mindset towards people coming from outside who show interest in the politics of the fatherland. Because every single time you see somebody coming from outside and stepping into the shores of Nigeria to express interest in the political process of the country, what you tend to find is the attitude is you are treated like a stranger. You are treated as an interloper. You are treated as an intruder. You are treated as somebody who should not be, who should be seen but not heard. And you are, every step and every effort is made to discourage you from having a voice in the process. This is where the problem is. It is the attitude of the political leadership and the political elites on ground in Nigeria. And that is why it's so destructive. And that is why I said earlier that this question goes beyond whether certain persons like it. It is so important because it goes to the heart of why, as a country, we are not moving forward. We don't need to reinvent wheels. We live in the 21st century. To allow Nigerians in the diaspora to vote should not be rocket science. Fortunately, the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood, has insistently and consistently stated that he believes that it is the right thing to do to allow Nigerians who live outside to vote. And he has said it at every given opportunity he has had to speak on this. Now, what is it that needs to be done? I think that for us, in the diaspora voting rights group, there are a number of steps that we are looking to line out. One, we need to revisit the court judgment that was delivered in favor of allowing Nigerians in the diaspora to vote way back in 2010. We need to revisit that court judgment. And if it is not being enforced, we need to go back to court and ask whether it is the executive bill that needs to forward a bill, or INEC that needs to forward a bill, or members of NAS that needs to forward a bill. They need to ensure that the question of the rights of Nigerians who live abroad is enshrined in our constitution. So that at whichever level, within even the political parties, within the political parties. The rights of Nigerians who live abroad should be enshrined. It should be protected, and it should be clearly stated. Because today, if you belong even to a political party, you need to fight to be recognized. This is where it is starting from. Because everyone points a finger to the fact that Nigerians who live outside are not recognized within the ambit of the Constitution to have a say in what goes on in their fatherland. So I think that that court judgment needs to be revisited. Secondly, I believe that where the executive and INEC and the National Assembly is failing to raise a bill to this effect, Nigerians who live outside should identify friendly members of National Assembly and sponsor a bill to that effect. Now, will it be knocked back by these same elements? My feeling is that yes, because it is the same individuals who do not want to see you when you come from outside, because they see you either as a threat or, this, like they say to some people when you go, they call you Tokumbo, or they say you are outside enjoying the good life and you want to come here and share with us what we have. So they really don't want to see you if you are coming from outside. But the bottom line is this. Historically, nations that have leapfrogged from third world status to first world status within a short period of time have engaged citizens of their countries wherever they lived, especially their diaspora population. They have done this. China has done that. China has proven that the diaspora population is very, very important to national development. India has shown it, that engaging the diaspora population is very important. It is not just about remittances. It is about enshrining in totality the rights of these individuals to feel that they are part and parcel of their countries of origin. For their children who are born outside to feel and understand that they have a country that they can look to, countries of origin of their parents. It is that important. So I believe that there are things that we could do. But first of all, I believe that court judgment that was given in 2010, we need to revisit it. And where it is not being enforced, we need to go back to court to get it enforced. Right. Because that was clearly stated that it was the rights of people of Nigerian ancestry who live outside, who live abroad, to be allowed to vote in every election, not just presidential, every election. If I choose to vote in the election of my local government chairman, I have a right to do that. It should be my right. I shouldn't be denied that right. And in the 21st century, the technology is in place to do that. It is not rocket science anymore.
Right. Ibiam, I mean, taking this on from where Dr. Philip stopped, looking at the mindset of Nigerians in Nigeria towards Nigerians living outside the shores of Nigeria in participating in the electoral processes in Nigeria. What would you say that was right in terms of what he said? Or is it kind of a reality that Nigerians in Nigeria see those of us abroad as interlopers?
I won't say in totality that is the mindset of Nigerians, back home. The way they perceive those in diaspora. Because I haven't, as a journalist, if I had interviewed someone and he or she categorically says that, look, you guys are abroad, just keep remitting your money and that is what you are good for, then that would be a different thing. I don't know the effort those in diaspora have made. They can also sponsor a bill, all right? Like he rightly said, get someone there. The parliament should, or the National Assembly should listen.
No, let me put you on hold there. Are you saying, I'm just taking on the issue of how Nigerians in Nigeria see you as a Nigerian. If you're coming back home, have you had an experience? Have you heard people say, look, you guys coming from abroad, London, UK, you're coming back home to take a particular position. Have you had a kind of antagonism? No, you say you did not.
But I would put it in differently. The way they attack people living abroad when they come home is a slight indication that they could also do something in that step or in that regard. When possibly a medical doctor going home to develop his or her motherland and is just killed, they can at the same time do that to people coming to develop the political environment. They think you know more than them, and they think that your wealth or your resources was legally gotten. Forget about what they are doing at home. That is not governance. That is not leadership.
Is there a feeling of intimidation? Is there a feeling of intimidation? And attempt to sideline Nigerians who live abroad when they go back home?
They might indirectly do that. But at the same time, they are the same people calling for Nigerians abroad to come and develop Nigeria. So how can you invite me to come and develop my country and you're not giving me the free hand to do that? Possibly he is saying that out of experience. And
let me go back to Dr. Phillips. Is that all in reality that tag that Nigerians, when they want to go back to Nigeria to participate in different sector, attempt to develop, they meet this kind of hostile environment, hostile people? Is that a reality, and why?
See, I think that we should speak to realities based on what is on ground. And I will say this. Recently, I had an opportunity to be interviewed. And there was some, an elder statesman. I was being interviewed also from Nigeria. And he said to me, you live abroad, you don't know anything about what is going on at home. Okay? And I can tell you this, that is exactly the attitude of most of Nigerian political leaders. We should, until...
Is that limited to political leaders, or... No, that average Nigerian will say, look, you guys live abroad, yes, what do you know happening in the country?
But you see, we are speaking to the reality of our political leadership at this point in time.
Right.
Okay? I don't want to dive into the issues of professional, challenges. Yeah. Look, if we are going to go into that, I have experiences I can relay. So I will not be speaking from abstract. I will be speaking from experience. I'm talking, let us speak to our political realities. Because until and unless we fix our political challenges, we cannot actually make any significant move towards development of our country. What is holding Nigeria down is the reluctance of, I'm using that word very advisedly, reluctance, not inability, the reluctance of our political leaders to accept that all Nigerians, regardless of where they live, should be treated as stakeholders.
Keep watching Newspunch from the television today, to economy, business, technology.